That's better there. That was better there. Now, what I'm doing, oddly enough, is this. If I can get you firm here, I can get this to fold.
When the best golfers in the world need to sharpen their skills, they look for the best teacher in the world. And over 100 touring pros look to Jimmy Ballard's Golf Workshop at Doral Resort and Country Club in Miami, Florida for that competitive edge. Like Jimmy Ballard, the Doral name stands for excellence. Spread over 2,400 acres, Doral offers sun and relaxation, as well as exercise and recreation. It's the home of the luxurious Doral Saturnia International Spa Resort, nationally recognized as one of the top spas in the eastern United States. But it's championship golf that Doral is best known for. 99 challenging holes spread over 6 courses, including the infamous Blue Monster, site of the Doral Open on the PGA Tour since 1962. At Doral, the adage practice makes perfect rings loud and clear. A lighted driving range on the resort side offers guests a constant workout. And if you need assistance with your swing, then head down the range to the Jimmy Ballard Golf Workshop, where high handicappers and scratch players practice the true fundamentals under the watchful eye of Jimmy Ballard. Jimmy has been teaching golf for nearly 3 decades, and over that time he's devised a definitive and organized method to enable golfers to understand the fundamental golf swing. For years, he studied the great ball strikers, Hogan, Snead, Nelson, and found similarities in all their swings. Today, along with his staff of teaching professionals, Jimmy Ballard connects golf swings with the proper fundamentals. Through classroom workshops that allow students to see the right moves, to personally videotape sessions on the practice tee, Jimmy Ballard emphatically proves that the golf swing is nothing more than a natural athletic move. Ballard is best known for his work with successful touring pros like Curtis Strange, Sandy Lyle, Stevie Ballesteros, and Hal Sutton. But it's working with amateur players of all levels, men and women, young and old, that he finds most rewarding. Each week, Jimmy looks at hundreds of swings. He is a student of the game. And for 30 years, he has studied the fundamental golf swing.
Yeah. Now, that's what I call a good golf swing. But it ought to be. He's my #1 assistant. I'd like to introduce you to Artie McNichol. He's going to demonstrate for you the fundamentals of the golf swing, what we call the common denominators, which, as you will see, is nothing more than an athletic move in the golf swing. Artie played the tour some 10 years, from 72 to 81.
Well, I'll tell you what, though, the first 5 years I couldn't break an egg out there. I came in to see you in 1977, and my golf swing got a whole lot better, and I had a lot more fun out there. But I'm not so sure there's much of an athlete left in this body.
Don't tell me that now. For sure, golf professionals are athletes, and that swing that you just made was an athletic swing. And I want all of you to know, all athletes have athletic moves, whether it's golf, whether it's baseball, whether it's boxing, whether it's hockey, football, it makes no difference. All pro golfers are athletes.
This week, Jimmy and Artie will demonstrate common denominator #6, maintaining the triangle and center through impact. They will also show how to properly release the club down the line of flight. This will ensure the continuance of connection and aid in preventing the dreaded block or slice. And finally, they will demonstrate how the left elbow must fold down in order to remain connected throughout the golf swing.
If your golf swing is a painful reminder your scores are not up to par, your swing may suffer from what Jimmy Ballard, the most sought-after golf instructor today, calls disconnection.
Hi, I'm Jimmy Ballard. My popular swing connector connects the lead arm in both right-handed and left-handed players to the lead shoulder, securing it against the chest so the lead arm can fold naturally to release the body to a straight, balanced finish.
The swing connector trains the body's muscle memory through prolonged practice on the course or range, shadow boxing indoors during bad weather, or working out your strokes at the office. The swing connector encourages a smoother, more coordinated swing. When worn high across the chest and upper arm, practice normal trajectory shots. Try it low across the midsection and bicep for chipping, bunker shots, and putting. The Jimmy Ballard Swing Connector, your connection to golf swing perfection. To order your swing connector, call toll-free 1-800-544-1000 All major credit cards accepted.
Now what I want to do is I want to talk with you about release. I want you to understand, number one, I want you to see and understand what a block is. And I want you to see what a release is and understand it. Now, remember the first pictures I showed you of Hogan in his early days, before he changed his swing, how his left arm ran out of the socket. I think the best way to show you the results of that and to show you the opposite of what people feel sometimes. Hogan always thought when he hit a bad shot in his early days, he felt that he always hit the duck hook. That was the one he feared, the one he called the terror of the field mice, the duck hook. Now, I want you to look at his old swing first, which, like I said, he's made quite a few improvements on, quite a lot of changes. And you see the arm out of the socket. That caused him, when he came into the ball, it caused him to come in what we call a blocked position. Now, what we mean by blocked position is when the left arm is pulling and staying straight, that makes the body block back. Because of the straight, stiff left arm, it blocks the body back. And once the body is blocked back, you have two choices. You can wipe across it with an open blade and hit a lot of weak shots, or you can be blocked and flip your hands, and that's all you can do is flip your hands because your left arm is stiff. It won't release, the elbow won't break, so the hands will flip, and you hit the duck hook. Now look at Hogan's old swing, and I want you to notice how when he came into the ball, and this is incorrect, he totally changed this. Do you see his stiff left arm? You see the gap between his arms, and do you see how his right shoulder is tilted completely under his left? Can you see that? Okay? Now that's very, very important that you can see that blocked position of the right shoulder under the left and that daylight. See the stiff left arm. Very simple. Hogan wrote himself what he changed. In the 5 fundamentals, he very clearly said right here that he now feels that he holds a handkerchief under his left armpit going back, and as he goes through the ball, the left elbow folds right down on his tummy. He drew it in 1957. He illustrated it. He's showing the left arm against the body where it's holding the handkerchief there, and he's showing the right side releasing down the line. Can all of you see that difference? And the main difference that you'll see is in the total release, when Hogan released the club correctly, his right arm, as he went through the ball, is equal to his left, on top of his left instead of under it. Can everyone see the difference? It is an opposite. You follow me? Now, I'll demonstrate that to you. Hogan's old swing, as you saw, his right arm is under his left, and he flipped his hands. That's a block and a dug hook. When he changed his swing, the left elbow hinged down on his body, his right side, his spine, his eyes released, and he hit a descending blow down the line of flight. A release in the golf swing is not the right forearm crossing over the left. A release in the golf swing is not the left arm pulling and the right arm going under it. A release in the golf swing is when you release your right side, your spine, your eyes, and your body. Your left elbow folds down. That's releasing everything to the target. I think the best example that I could give you would be to say to you, if I gave you a pail of water. Now, I do not want you to hold the pail of water by the handle in the bottom of the bucket. Hold the pail of water on its side, on the side of the bucket. If I took this pail of water I have in my hands, or pretend that I have one, and I wanted to toss it on that wall, could I pull my left arm and have my right under my left and toss that water on the wall? I'd spill the water on my feet, wouldn't I? To toss that water on that wall, wouldn't I go like this? Wouldn't my elbow fold down? Wouldn't my spine and eyes be at the target? That's a natural tossing motion. If I took a basketball and held the basketball on the sides and I made an underhanded tossing motion, wouldn't I toss it that way to the target? Could I toss a pail of water, a basketball, or even a baseball to a person? Could I do that, keep my head down, tuck in my right arm, pull my left arm? Would that be a natural way to do it? But yet, that's what you've all been told, isn't it? It's dead wrong. There's no way in the world that you can pull the butt of the club or your left arm at the ball and stay behind it with your right elbow tucked in and ever release. All you can do is block your body back and spend the rest of your life pulling up, coming out of every shot to the right, or flipping your hands and duck hooking or pull hooking it. The only way you can go to the target is to let your spine and your weight shift into your right leg. Then when you fire your right side, the club squares up, the left elbow would fold down, and you release everything to the target. A perfect example of that would be real simple to show you right here. Here's a picture of Gorman Thomas hitting a home run, and here's a picture of Hogan hitting a driver. Couldn't both of them hold a handkerchief under their left armpits? Doesn't both of them's left elbow break? And that's the only way you can get extension down the line, is for that left elbow to fold down and for you to release your right side down the line. That's why when you see Hogan's full swings to the straight balance finish, you never saw his left elbow again, because his left arm folded down and the right side released down the line. Now, that's not just Hogan. It's Curtis Strange, it's Hal Sutton, it's any of your great ball strikers. Sevy, when he's holding a handkerchief here. Sandy Lyle, I know it's meant an awful lot to Sandy to feel the connector on that held his left arm down. It's changed his whole golf swing the last 2 years, where he can really release this thing down the line every time. You cannot release down the line with a straight step left arm and pulling. It's your body that releases your hands and arms. You cannot hold your body back and release your hands and arms. You can never hit a golf ball holding your body still with your arms working around it. We use an example sometimes. It may or may not, but we have a lot of fun when we teach sometimes. One of the best examples Hogan ever used is the thing that I've said repeatedly: throw a basketball underhanded to a target. Well, what we did is we got a picture of Bobby Knight throwing a chair across the basketball court. That's his takeaway. Here's a picture of Hogan hitting a driver. Takeaway. How close are they? You follow me? Look at Hogan's right arm. He did never tuck his right arm in. His right arm was always out. Hogan never had a handkerchief under his right arm. He had it under his other right arm, his left one. Hogan never was confused. He knew which arm to put it under. It's the teachers that are confused. They can't decide the left from the right. And those of them that got it under here don't know what they're doing, in my opinion. The left arm. And I want you to notice how from there the right arm got away, and look at the similarity to throw the chair, to hit the golf ball. Now, I'll take it a step further. Look at the release through the ball when he threw the chair. Where are their head and eyes and spine? All facing the target. Bobby Knight didn't throw that chair across the court that way. Bobby Knight threw that chair across the court like that, and like all golfers that play golf, they released the right side and the body down the line of flight. And the only way, folks, and I'll let you stand here every day and try it, there's only one way this club can stay low down the line of flight, and that's for your left elbow to fold down and to release your spine and belt buckle at the target. And if you try to hold your head and your spine back, all you can do is pull across the line of flight or rotate around the line of flight. I defy anybody to show me any difference if you know anything about the physics of the golf swing or physics, period. You cannot cross your body. You have to let your body release.
Now let's all join Jimmy back out on the practice range.
I want you to understand, we always want the club traveling the fastest through impact. So I never like to talk in the hitting area, because I feel that's a result of getting in the right position at the top and knowing where to go at the finish. And so therefore, the triangle at waist high with the club in the center of the body is proof of the release in the golf swing. Now, the best way I know how to say that to you would be this. From the starting position, if the right side is firing coming through the ball, what we want you to do is feel that the left elbow folds down, and when the left elbow folds down, the right arm can get long and get extended down the line. That's centrifugal force, and you can see how the club is back in the center of the body. Now, many of you, again, have been told so often to pull your left side, to pull the butt of the club at the ball. All you can do, if you pull the butt of the club at the ball and the butt of the left hand at the ball, is to pull across the line of flight and get into what we call the block position. The block position is the left arm off of the body, straight and stiff, blocking the body back, making me hit under, up, and across the line. Always the low point of my arc is coming under and up, and you can see the angle. We see nearly every golfer that comes to us in this position because they're all told to pull the left arm and to keep it extended, and all of them, of the average golfers, just pull across the line of flight every single time. What has to happen here, again, is that that left elbow is folding down. That's the inner force of centrifugal force. The right side is firing. The right side is extending down the line. The club would be in the center of the body, the same as it started. I'm releasing my right side and my body, so therefore I would have the triangle intact at waist high. Another way to feel this is to say to you, this is the toe of the club, this is the heel of the club. Never in golf do you pull the heel of the club at the ball. All you can do is wipe or pull across the target line. You're always swinging the toe of the club, and we feel like at waist high through the ball, you put the toe in the air. Now, the toe in the air is important. A little drill to get the feeling of the toe in the air is to take your index finger on your right hand and run it down the shaft and just point to your target. How could you point to your target without having your right hip level, your belt buckle at the target, and your left elbow folded? How in the world could you point to the target, pulling the butt of the club, keeping your left arm stiff? You can never release the club to the target. All you could do is block across it, hitting it to the right with the butt of the club out of center. Or, a lot of players tell you, when you get into the ball, rotate your hands. Well, if you want to hit snipe hooks, rotate your hands, but they're not much fun. If you stay behind the ball, pull the heel of the club and rotate the toe of the club, or rotate your hands, you hit slap hooks, because what happens is you create an angle with the hands crossing the spine, crossing the body. Where is the toe of the club? It's around instead of up. To go to the target, the toe of the club must be in the air. It can't be crossed over left. It can't be crossed under. The idea is this triangle and the spine and the body is releasing down the line, pointing to the target with the toe in the air. The left elbow is folded down. One other thing I'd like for you to see here. Notice that when I fire my right side, my right hip is up. It would have to be in a tossing motion. I have to be up to hit down. My right hip is up. My right side is extended. The only way I can get my right side extended is to fold my left elbow down. If my left arm is up in the air and my elbow is in the air, do you see how my right side and my right arm will never be extended? That's the block position with the angle. If I want to extend this, my left has to fold. Now it's in the center of my body. The same thing would apply to a baseball batter if he's hitting a home run. The same thing would apply to a golfer. The same thing would happen to a tennis player hitting a forehand down the line. He'd have the tennis racket here. You will not see a tennis player hit a forehand down the line blocking it. People are told to hold their head still, get a stiff left arm, and take the club inside. That, to me, is one of the worst things you can tell somebody. And what happens, let's demonstrate the roll one more time, and then let's talk about a feel to get a person out of the roll. First, show, if you kept your head still in the body, how your left arm would roll over your right. Right there's an angle. The club is on too flat a plane. His arm is disconnected. There's no way there that he can use his legs and body. So from there, you'd pull through with the arms over the top, pull with the arms, and block it. Every time we see the club hit over the top, we always find it's because the guy took it inside and rolled it. Tell them about a feel you feel with that left elbow to get the club back right, and it ties it into the shoulder. Describe that feel.
A lot of times, if you can just make sure that your left elbow, which should start pointed at your left hip, at the top of your backswing, if it's pointed at the ground, it'd be very difficult to have rolled your left arm over your right, because if you did, the left elbow would be pointed at you, Coach.
Right. Ow. And look at the socket, how the arm is disconnected from the socket. Now there again, if you held the handkerchief under your left armpit, plugged it in, do you see how the left elbow would be down? That's where good hitters would be in any sport. Now from there, show them how, as it squares up, where the left elbow would be. Now where is the butt of the club? Take that back again to center, Artie. Show that left elbow folding down and stop right there. There. See how the butt of the club's back in the center of the body. Now show them as the left elbow releases, the club is still in the center. He's releasing his whole right side and his body. With what, Artie?
With my
feet and legs, right?
You betcha.
Now bring it back, set it down, and take it back up there again with the feet and legs. This little drill is great. And through. because of the way you used to take it away, again, show them the block position coming through the ball. And I know that's where you were when the right arm was under your left.
I was right here and reversing to the point where I couldn't use my legs at all, so I always found myself this way going through.
Right.
My legs got used after my arms instead of using them to swing my arms.
And also point out here that the left arm, show how your arms are pulling, and that's pulling your legs. Show the difference if your left elbow folds down and extend the right side. Watch how see now his right side is unwinding his body. His feet and legs are unwinding his body. Now do that again and show the arms pulling the leg with a slide. I think they can see that. That's when you there. And show the difference when your right side releases, your left elbow folds down, and that's the right side releasing to the left. And look at the difference in the balance. It's on plane. Bring it around, set it down. It's where it started. Now, let's talk about feels coming back through the ball of the firing of the right side. Now, what I'd like to do here, Artie, the same thing. You know, a lot of times when we get people releasing, you know their feel sense a lot of times is, I feel the right arm cross over the left. Show them here a little bit about how it's really the right side releasing and it's really staying the same, that it's not crossing over.
I've known people to talk about it, and what they produce on camera is this. That's the crossover of the arms. And in reality, when I feel my right side work, it's the release of the body, and my arms happen to turn out that way when my left arm folds down.
Show them a little drill there with a club on the ground. Now just release it up with a little pressure in the shaft, right there. Now do that again and do it slow, Artie, and let them see how your feet and legs is unwinding your body, and his arms are just laying on his body where they started. He didn't really do anything with his hands and arms. Feet and legs and body did it. Now, show the difference in staying behind the ball, which is incorrect, and crossing the right arm over the left, which a lot of people are told to do. That's a little exaggerated. Don't do it quite that much. No, what I mean is with the crossover. Just show a little bit of how the head would stay back and how the right arm would cross over. Yeah. Now, that's where we get the big hooks with people a lot of times. And, of course, like you said, sometimes they even do it worse. But right there is still a hangback and a crossover. Now show them the block position with a cross under, the right arm coming in. That's the left arm pulling and left arm extended, but a block across the line. Now show them the difference with the left arm folding down and the right arm extended and with a triangle going through correctly, right there. Now that's there feel-wise. Again, let's talk about some feels that we have players, that our different players have felt to feel a release. I think the toe of the club. Talk a little about that.
Well, I know that if you block it, you'd feel the heel going in the air, or you at least ought to. And if you can put the toe in the air with your body, you'd be releasing your body, and putting the toe in the air would square the blade up down the line. That's a good way to feel it through it. I've used that before.
Would you like to work on your game at the world-famous Jimmy Ballard Golf Workshop at Doral Country Club in Miami, Florida? The place where so many top touring professionals go to benefit from Jimmy's proven and time-tested methods. Pros at the pinnacle of their careers that still come home to Jimmy to work on the basic fundamentals. Well, if you can do the next best thing. Bring Jimmy home to you. The world's most successful teacher has just completed his all-new instructional videotape. Over an hour long, it methodically spells out and illustrates the very same fundamentals, complete with tips and drills that have helped so many touring pros. If you can't go to Jimmy, do your game a favor. Take Jimmy Ballard home with you. To order your copy, send a check for $49.95 plus $4.95 shipping and handling, payable to Ballard Reed Associates, care of Resolution, 1 Mill Street, Burlington, Vermont. Or use your credit card and call 1-800-843-0048.
Now let's review what we've talked about today. The triangle must be maintained through impact. Notice here with Hogan now, as he takes the club away, notice as he comes through the ball, how the triangle and the butt of the club is back to the center of the body there, and he's right in position to release for his left elbow to start to fold down. Secondly, you must release down the line of flight. Now watch Raymond Floyd here as he goes through the ball. You'll see his right side go down the line, and notice his head and eyes are coming right up with the swing as his right side releases down the line of flight. And finally, the left elbow must fold down for a proper release. Notice here with Artie, he demonstrates that for you going through the ball at waist high. The left elbow folds down, and that allows your body to go forward. Now take these fundamentals to the practice tee and work on them.
Next week on Jimmy Ballard, the fundamental golf swing.
Every great player who's lasted more than 10 years, all of them finish over on their left side. Their spine is straight, and they have what we term as the straight balance finish with the weight all on their left side.
The preceding has been a production of Reed Dolph Incorporated.